Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Saturday, June 16th. This is Gina McGuire. Over the next couple of days, we will have some decreases to fire potential temporarily across the Great Basin. Today, we will still see gusty winds over southern areas with low relative humidity, keeping fire potential moderate. However, today we will see an increase in lightning over the eastern half of Utah as that moisture from the remnants of Hurricane Bud continues to push northward. Therefore, we'll likely see greater amounts of lightning, but also some areas will see wetting rain and certainly higher humidity. Also, as a deeper trough of low pressure drops into the northern side of the basin, we will see those showers and thunderstorms and cooler temperatures over much of Idaho, Wyoming, and into northern Nevada. This trend continues on Sunday with wetter and cooler conditions in the north, dropping a little further south over western Nevada, still keeping that wind threat with the dry conditions over southern areas of the Great Basin and wetter thunderstorms on Sunday over eastern Utah. However, on Monday, the moisture over eastern Utah will exit and push further east, and we will see drier and windier weather return over the eastern half of Utah. So depending on how much lightning we will see, this could bring the potential for holdovers and also certainly will impact our ongoing incidents in that region. Otherwise, the cool, showery conditions with wetter thunderstorms in the north will continue and push into northern Utah. Over the last 24 hours, we've only seen some light amounts of precipitation with some isolated lightning over the eastern half of Utah, and also some precipitation with a little bit higher amounts over eastern Idaho and lighter precip back into northern Nevada, with occasional lightning strikes in the north as well. Looking at our Great Basin fire activity, we did have light initial attack yesterday. We continue to see fire potential increase in some areas today, but again, we will be seeing some decreases in the coming days. Precipitation over the last 7 days does not account for what we saw yesterday over eastern Utah. Still, only precip, the heavier precip is in the central Idaho mountains, with very dry conditions over the rest of the basin. But again, this will be changing over the next few days as well. ERC conditions, despite the slight increase in moisture, still are very high across the southern and eastern half of Utah and above the 80th to 97th percentiles. ERCs over the northern areas will be coming down and are generally between the 50th and 70th percentile. Live fuel moisture has peaked across Idaho and Nevada in the sagebrush, and fuel moistures are trending downward. We still do have those below normal fuel moistures over southwest Idaho, and obviously over southern and eastern Utah, live fuel moistures are well below normal and near seasonal or near lows for the time of year. The satellite loop from this morning shows that area of low pressure dropping south into the Pacific Northwest, again pushing those cooler temperatures and showery conditions to the north. We still do have that area of moisture pushing north into southern and eastern Utah today. A little bit more moisture certainly than we saw yesterday and the day before, with morning cloud cover and some showers. Also looking at the radar loop from this morning, again you can see those isolated showers over southern and eastern Utah with more moisture beginning to push north. And we also do have those showery conditions, especially over Wyoming, eastern Idaho into far northern Utah this morning, but we will see those showers and thunderstorms up north increase today. Now looking at the weather pattern for later today, again our main focus is over southern and eastern Utah as that moisture pushes north today. We will see thunderstorms increase over southern and eastern Utah. However, we will at least see some higher humidity, which may mitigate some of the increased fire potential threat, but it's still something to watch, especially over towards the Manti. We do still have a high risk for lightning over northeast Utah today, as that moisture will be slower to return to the northern side of the state. Otherwise, low fire potential in the north and west as that moisture from the low dropping into the northwest pushes a little bit further south. So today, relative humidity, again, quite a bit higher over southern and eastern Utah than what we have seen, with still drier conditions over central and southern Nevada. The winds today will be lower than what we saw yesterday, but still breezy along the Sierra front into western Nevada and also over southern Nevada into southwest Utah. On Sunday, that low drops further south into western Nevada with scattered showers and thunderstorms, generally over western Nevada up into Idaho, and low fire potential, and again, still dry conditions over southern Nevada. Relative humidity on Sunday will start to decrease over parts of southern Utah, so the moisture we will see return today will quickly be deteriorating on Sunday and Monday. Winds will also increase again on Sunday with gusts above 40 or 45 miles per hour over much of the western half of Utah into the Arizona Strip and southern and eastern Nevada. So we will be watching these winds as they progress eastward. As with any of the lightning, we could start to see some holdovers. On Monday, that area of low pressure moves east over southern Idaho, with continued dry conditions returning to southern and eastern areas of the basin. So you will start to see the dryness levels return to yellow over southern and eastern Utah from Sunday through Tuesday. On Monday, those relative humidity, again with that dry air moving in over southern and eastern areas of the basin, will drop to below 15% once again, and winds on Monday will push into central and eastern Utah, and this will again be a concern for our ongoing incidents and also bring the potential for holdovers in areas that we see lightning. The forecast amount of precip over the next 3 days shows some areas over southern and eastern Utah seeing above a quarter or even a half inch of rainfall in total, and then higher amounts up across central Idaho, with even some appreciable amounts of rainfall over northern Nevada. As we go into next week, on Tuesday, that area of low pressure is still tracking eastward across the Great Basin, again with those cooler temperatures and showery conditions over the northern half of the area. And eventually, by next week, we will start to see some of those showers move into northern Utah. So therefore, low fire potential in the north and west, and low to moderate fire potential generally over southern and eastern areas. On Wednesday, that area of low pressure starts to track a little bit further east into the northern Rockies, with still some showers and thunderstorms over Idaho and Wyoming, but drier air moving in elsewhere across the basin. On Thursday, a very similar picture. However, most of those showers will start to exit the Great Basin in the north, with continued drying over southern and eastern areas, and you can see a lot more yellows and browns now by the early to mid portion of next week over eastern and southern Utah back into the Arizona Strip and southern Nevada. On Friday, we may get a few showers to push into Idaho, into the northern half of Utah and Wyoming as another weak trough of low pressure moves eastward, otherwise dry conditions over southern and western areas. The 7-day total amount of precipitation looks very similar to the 3-day. We might see a little bit more of that precipitation up across northern Utah, Wyoming, and Idaho as we go later in the weekend, early next week, but much of this precipitation is really from the next few days. Looking at the 8 to 14-day outlook, which takes us into the last week in June, we're looking at a return to warm temperatures across much of the basin, and that shift of above normal precipitation may move a little bit further east into the Rockies, but still impacting somewhat the eastern half of the Great Basin. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.